So next we're going to get into the power stance. Now the power stance has to do with how you begin to set the hips and where you begin to store energy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, again, if we go back to one of the earlier videos, you'll see that we worked on this staggered position in a 1/4 stance. And so the reason why you want to do this is because now as you start to go into the load, this is going to help you begin to drop in to the back load with your back hip. Here's how we'll break this down. When you're in stage 1, the start, we transition to stage 2. Now stage 2 is going to be that release, the ball toss, which we've gone over. So after stage 2, as we go into stage 3, there's going to be some blended elements that are going to go into the power stance. Okay, and the power stance encompasses a couple of things. A, you have to be able to get the weight onto the back foot. B, you have to make sure that this back hip is slightly underneath the front hip. Now this ramping here will be different for each player based on your hip mobility. Not only do you have to displace the hip, but you also have to try to take that back hip and you have to counter rotate it in. And what you'll notice when you do this, now you can use a stick like I am to kind of balance yourself in it, but once you set into this position, what you'll notice, it's much easier for you to store energy on that back foot. So make sure that you drop the hip, wind that hip up, and then really feel that weight on that back foot. And you should spring into it, feel like you're pushing or bouncing a couple times just to feel where that weight is. You should feel like around 40% hovering right over that front foot. Okay, now once you've done that, let's add a racket and kind of see what that looks like. So let's assume in this one we're going to go and we're going to use that triple link we talked about. Okay, but what I want you to watch is how I begin to kind of use that power stance. And then I'm going to show you how to find yours. All right, so as I go into, we got the downswing. I'm going to go into stage 2. Okay, my triple link. Now when I get to this stage here, I have to make sure at the same time that this hip is actually moving. Typically what players do is the hips are actually more level. And when they're level, the weight shifts to the front foot. So when you're pushing off, although you feel like you're using a power drive, you're gaining all the energy from the front foot, and essentially you're trying to maximize the back hip velocity of this hip displacing above the front hip. So just keep that in mind that if you have tight hips, you're going to want to work on stretching those out so that you can displace the hip by about 22 degrees if possible to get to that threshold point so that you can leverage the weight on the back foot. So again, from the top, we go into the downswing. So you got 1, and if we go into 2, the triple link, I'm on the back, and then from there, that would initiate the push. But to help you find yours, I'm going to show you a little exercise that you can do with a partner. Gabby? So Gabby, go ahead and stand here. Okay, and I get into your normal stance, like your pinpoint when you step up. Okay, good. Now that Gabby has her feet together, what we're going to do is, Gabby, could you put your hands kind of right on the chest? And now with this hand, your right hand, just hold on to the stick. Okay, now if I take this stick, and again, you can do this at home with a partner. Now, I want you to, don't try to pull against the stick, just kind of stabilize it. Try to fight against that and just use your weight. Now if I pull here, no, you got to, yeah, if I pull and she's unstable and she buckles, then we know she's got a power stance issue. So now what I want you to do, keep this here again. Now go ahead and take this back hip and now drop it underneath the front hip. Do you feel that?
Yep.
And put the weight on the front. Okay, now hold that. Now do you feel that? Okay, now as I pull, she can really hold that spot. That's how you find that spot. Remember, you're only going to find that for a second and then you're going to punch out. If you toss this too high, what will happen is you'll set it, but then your weight will fall to the front. So make sure that you find this spot, and that's how you initiate that back load. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Gabby.